Hi, it's Darnell with Way Over Recipes, and today I'm going to be doing fried chicken tenderloins in the Emerald air fry oven, and we're going to see how it does doing some old-fashioned frying of chicken tenderloins right now. Alright, so before we get the chicken tenderloins out, I'm going to go over the ingredients real quick that I use for the egg wash and the breading, because not everyone seeing this video has seen other videos. And so for our egg wash, we've got 2 large eggs and we have 1 ounce of water. For the breading, I've got 1 cup of yellow cornmeal, 1 cup of all-purpose flour. I've got 1 ounce of Old Bay seasoning. I also have a tablespoon of freshly cracked black pepper. So I'll be using these, the dry as the breading, the wet as the egg wash, so I'll mix the wet and the dry ingredients together. I also have here a little bit of chicken seasoning, what I have left of my Grill Mates Montreal chicken seasoning. Nothing in this video is sponsored though. I'll just be using that to season the chicken before I put it through the egg wash and the breading. And for the spray, the oil spray, which will help to fry things up real nice, I'm transitioning to a different type of oil. I'm using some extra light olive oil. Now, extra light olive oil doesn't come in a spray bottle, but it's good for things like air frying and such. It has like high omega-9, but also has a high smoke point. So, you know, it works out a lot of ways, but you use the oil that works for you. And so what I had to get here is a bottle that you can use to basically spray an oil like this, to use it as a sprayer. It's kind of like a bottle that you kind of have to pump the bottle, and then it, you know, has like a little thing on top where you can spray after you pump it. So I'll be using that to spray the oil on. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and get the wet and dry stuff mixed together. Alright, so now I've got the chicken tenderloins out, got my wet and dry stuff all mixed up. I've got a dozen chicken tenderloins here, and I'm just going to go ahead and put my chicken seasoning on both sides of these. And this just helps to give a nice little underbite of seasoning flavor underneath the breading, which I think is pretty nice. And I do believe, Lord willing, I'll have just enough of my remaining chicken seasoning to do both sides of these. So we got side 1 done, and just flip these last few over and we'll get side 2 done. So there we go. We'll get these seasoned up here. And you know, you can really just use like whatever mix of seasonings you prefer. You know, in the air frying, there's no rule or anything as far as what you have to use. If there's a particular seasoning that you like and that you've always enjoyed, then incorporate that into your air frying here, either into some of your breading, or maybe you can just pre-season it with the breading of your choice. So now I'm just going to go ahead and take the chicken tenderloin and get it mixed up into the egg wash here. And then I don't think this hand is too wet. I did touch the chicken, but I don't believe it's too wet. You want to have like one hand wet and one hand dry when you're using a breaded frying technique. And I don't think this hand's too wet to cause like a clump hand or anything on it. So just take that chicken tenderloin and get it all breaded after it's got some egg wash on it. So now I'm going to take it and set it right over here, and I'll get that sprayed up in a moment. But basically going to go through this exact same process with all 12 of these chicken tenderloins. I will also mention the chicken tenderloins do have a little cartilage piece on each one. If you want, you can cut that off so that you don't have to bite into that when you're eating them, or I just leave it on and just deal with it myself when chewing. But just going to get the rest of these chicken tenderloins all breaded up. Alright, so we got all the chicken all egg washed and breaded up. Now I'm going to use the oil spray bottle. Basically you pump on the top of it to get the oil pressure built up in the bottle, and after you got the oil pressure built up, then it sprays out kind of like an aerosol sprayer. But it takes a little bit of work because the pressure does run out. So you got to spray for a bit, and then you got to pump it some more to get some more pressure built up, and then you spray some more. And if you want, you can use an aerosol can of oil if you choose. I personally am going to be using this method probably going forward. I think it's it's a little effort, but I think this is, for me, it's going to work out pretty decent. So like I said, the extra light olive oil has more of like the omega-9s and stuff, and it's all about what choices you want to make as far as your oils. And I think you should, if you're wondering why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it or what I'm using, I think you should just, do your own research as far as oils and what you want to use. If you, go with the canola oil, whatever, that's your choice. Or if you want to use this, use this. I used the spray bottle with canola oil for a long time because that has a high smoke point and isn't crazy expensive like some other oils. But extra light olive oil is not a very expensive oil. It's not very expensive, and a spray bottle like this makes it sprayable. And you can get like referral links on my Amazon shop, and in the video description, link to my Amazon shop where I have like this and other things that you might be interested in. Also the cooker itself. So I'm going to finish spraying these up to get them coated with the oil, and then I'll bring you on back, because this does, using the oil, this method takes a little bit more time to get the oil sprayed out across all of them real good. And I should mention also, as I'm getting these sprayed up, I do know that makers like, some makers make a sprayable olive oil in the aerosol can, and you can use that if you choose. I used to sometimes use that. That does, in my opinion, taint flavor a little bit. Extra light olive oil does not taint flavor. It doesn't taste like regular olive oil or extra virgin olive oil. It's an extra light olive oil, so it doesn't taint flavor at all. So it's very similar in that nature to canola oil, as it doesn't taint the flavor at all. So I'm good with this, and going to finish spraying up, and got to spray both sides of this chicken. Alright, so the chicken is all oiled up, and so now I'm going to get the cooker set, and it's on the French fry setting, which is what I want. I'm going to hit time temp to lower the temp down to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And now that I've got 400 degrees Fahrenheit, hit time temp again. Going to lower the time. I'm going to make it 20 minutes. I'll keep an eye on things. If it needs just 15, I'll pull it early. But since I have a whole dozen, I'm going to give it 20. I'm going to hit the preheat button and going to let things preheat. I'll bring you back when it's time to get this stuff in there. Alright, so time to get our food in. So going to open up, and actually I mistakenly had a rack in there, so get that out of there. Didn't use that. We'll put this air fry basket up there on that third rack level in place. So put that right there, nothing underneath. Close up, hit the start button, and we'll let that cook. I'll bring you on back in a bit. Alright, so 15 minutes have passed. I think they might be already done, maybe, possibly, perhaps. So, got my thermopin. Things look, nicely fried over, in my opinion. And so, stick my thermopin in. Yeah, I'm reading like 190s. I mean, just 15 minutes. So, we're in the 190s. But things, the poke kind of was moist, but we'll see in the taste test if things are truly, well moist all over. Even after that, you see the bottom side, I did not open and do anything. I just let them run. So, bottom side is nicely cooked. Top's cooked, bottom's cooked, just 15 minutes. So that turned out pretty decent. And so I'm going to basically get the rest of these off of here. And, there was no smoke or anything. Everything went very smoothly. They're almost breaking apart as I pull them off. They're still pretty moist. So they didn't dry out or anything like that. Yeah, this one here just kind of broke off as I was getting it off of there. But I think this went pretty well. This went pretty smoothly. The extra light olive oil seems to have held up, pretty decent. So, did a nice air fry to it. We'll see how it tastes in our taste test though, just to confirm things. But I think this is a pretty good deal. And I'm going to just take the last one and put it over here on the plate that I'll use for my official taste test. But you can tell me what you think of these. And now it's going to be taste testing time. Alright, so here we have the air fried chicken tenderloin done with the extra light olive oil. So let's give it a taste. That is very good. That is very good. I mean, that turned out real well. Chicken's real moist. Tastes great. I mean, I think I like that extra light olive oil taste better than the like the cooking spray taste when I use that. This is some good stuff. So definitely recommend it for you. And so you can find more recipes on my blog at superwaveovenrecipe.com in the video description. You can help this channel by getting things like the cookbook. A lot of the recipes are cross-compatible with different cookers. Also, you can, as I mentioned, the referral links for the cooker or a very similar cooker and such. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share the video with a friend, leave your comments, subscribe, hit that notification icon, and good eating.